guys, this is the flexibility portion for this weekend's workout. So there's going to be 6 different kind of sections that are going to target different parts of the body, and kind of it'll all flow together once you get through it all. So each thing has different amounts of time that you're going to stretch for each stretch. If you want to spend extra time stretching a little bit longer on one or the other, that's okay. The goal is to just kind of get through all of these movements, make sure we leave this weekend nice, swole, and flexy, okay? Starting with our ankles, we're going to do pronation and supination. So what those two will look like, you're just kind of rolling your ankle one at a time so that this leg can like kind of hold a little bit of your body weight, and you're going to gently press down into it. So let's just stretch the outside of your ankle. You'll do this on both sides. Then you'll kind of switch that. You're going to roll on the inside. So you're going to kind of twist and turn this way. Be very gentle with this, okay? Just kind of holding this stretch for the time given. After those two, what you're going to go into is what is a tibia stretch. So your tibia is one of those bones here in your lower leg. There's a muscle on there, your anterior tibialis. You're going to try and stretch that. You're going to pull your toe down and push it forward. You'll feel a little slight stretch. This might be easier to do barefoot. You should feel the stretch in the front of your shin, okay? After that, we have a 3-way calf stretch. So all of these 2, 3, 4-way exercises or stretches are going to be just like some sort of combo or complex version of that stretch. For the calf stretch, you're going to be on the wall, pressing into it, keeping the heel down, and trying to drive your hip and knee forward, okay? So this is version 1, step 1. Step 2 is you're going to take this foot and you're going to step out wider. So this is going to turn you. It's going to cause some rotation at your ankle and stretch your calf a little bit differently. So you'll hold that one there too, and then you're going to cross your foot in front of you. This is going to, again, turn your ankle a little bit and stretch your calf a little bit differently, okay? So from behind, what that would look like is you're here, like a regular wall calf stretch, stretching that back leg, keeping that heel on the ground. Then you're going to just take a step out. This will rotate. And then you'll take a step across. And then this will rotate the other way. You're just kind of pushing, getting that calf stretch. That is the 3-way calf stretch. So that's going to be the first few stretches. Then we go into some standing stretches. We're going to do a 3-way straddle. So straddle is our big sumo stance. We're going to go forward first, and then the other 2 directions would be to the left or right, and then switching that way, okay? So that's our 3-way straddle stretch. Going into toe pull. This is supposed to be stretching our quad. So we do this sometimes dynamically, where we like take steps and grab our foot. We're going to do this statically. So we want to hold this here, pulling our heel into our glute and pushing your knee down, okay? You should feel this from somewhere right through here, from your hip down to your knee. Is kind of where we're trying to get that stretch. Again, if any of these you need to hold on to something for, that's okay. So that's our quad stretch, our toe pull. Then we have knee hugger. This is another one we usually do where we're like walking and going, but this one we're going to do statically, okay? So you're just going to grab that knee, pull it up into your chest. Try to avoid leaning back. You actually want to squeeze your chest into your knee. That'll give you a better flex, a better stretch back there. If you don't quite feel it, you can kind of pull it across your body to the opposite shoulder, okay? That's the knee hugger. It's supposed to get your glute. After that, we have what we call a figure 4. So this gets some rotation through the hip. You're going to grab your foot and pull it up. You're going to hold this. You can kind of push down on your knee. If this is pretty intense, you can do this one seated as well, okay? Another thing you could do, if your foot can't quite come up that high, you can just kind of stick your foot right there on your leg and just kind of lean forward into the stretch. There's several different ways we can modify that one. So that's the figure 4. It's supposed to get a piriformis muscle, which is a little muscle in your hip. After that, we're going to finish this part of the series with a standing pike stretch. So, feet together, try and keep your legs straight. I want you guys to hinge over like a good morning. And then, once you get to your end range, you can bend over. So you're just reaching down towards your toes. That's a standing pike. Going into the next part, we have what is called a triangle stretch. So this is going to be more of a lunge type series, okay? So this triangle stretch, you're going to start with your feet together. You're going to take a step forward. One step. So my feet are staggered by 1 foot, okay? You're going to reach forward as far as you can get. This is very similar to the pike stretch, but with 1 foot in front. You're going to then take another step, so now I'm 2 steps in front, and you'll go again, and then 1 last time. So that's 4 different points for this triangle stretch. That's why it's called a triangle, because you're making a little triangle with your legs each time. This will challenge your balance quite a bit. You'll feel this in your hamstring, okay, of that front foot. You still might feel a little bit in that back leg too. That's okay. Going into the next one, we have kind of a lunge. This is the series part of the lunge series. So you'll do all one side first and then the other in this order. It'll be a big, regular stretch lunge. So I'm just trying to push my hip forward, squeeze that back butt, okay? Then you're going to go into more of a runner's lunge. So this is that one where you get down here really deep. You're trying to drop that elbow towards the inside of your leg. After those 2, then we're going to go into a thoracic rotation. So it's harder to do the outside. It's easier to do the inside. Whichever one you want to do, go for it, okay? Just as long as we're getting some sort of turning, and that whatever one you do it the opposite way next time. So if you do it this way, and then the next time you go, you're still turning that same direction, then you're not really getting the right rotation variation that we want, okay? So then you hold that. Then we have the side bender. This is just simply like an overhead reach. So you're up and reaching. You want to open the side that you're stretching, right? So that back leg, you should be bending away from it to help stretch that side out. And then finally, if you can, you might need a pillow or a yoga mat for this, a toe pull. So this is very similar to that standing toe pull, except for we're in the bottom of a lunge, okay? So you're going to try and reach back, grab that foot, you get a quad stretch there, okay? After you do those on both sides in that order, you'll then go into the running hamstring stretch. So the runner's hamstring stretch is here. You're reaching forward, trying to grab your toe. Same thing, we'll do it on the other side. Or you can run it like a series and go into these adductor rockbacks. So the adductor rockback is very similar to this forward or kneeling hamstring stretch, except for you're going to put your foot off at a 45. That's what the 45 means. It's like a 45-degree angle. Instead of straight out in front of you or straight out to the side, we go to a 45 stretch. And then the 90 is where we're going straight out sideways. You're just kind of stretching back there. You could reach for it as well. That is okay. So those are kind of those 3. Then we'll finish with front splits. So front splits, you're trying to scoot your front foot forward and scoot that back foot back until eventually you get as low as you can, okay? You're going to hold that, and then slowly weasel your way out of those. So again, all of these things that you should be doing on both sides, please do it on both sides, otherwise you'll be walking around really, really weird. Next up, we have some seated stretches. So to start with, the good old butterfly. This should feel pretty good after those splits. You're just trying to grab hold of your feet. You can take your elbows and push down into your legs. That'll kind of help. If you want to grab your ankles, that's okay. You're just trying to bring your nose to your toes for this stretch. After that, we have three-way straddle. This is kind of the same thing as when we were standing, but now we're going to do it seated. So, straddle position, big sumo stance. You're going to reach through the middle, and then go off to one side, and then the other. Next up, we have some trunk rotation and abduction. So, trunk rotation, you're going to cross one foot. This one, you're trying to twist. So you should feel this more in your back. My back just popped twice. That's pretty crazy. This arm is kind of like an arm bar pushing against this knee, and this hand is just reaching back. So you can kind of look over your shoulder, get some good, big, long, deep breaths in here. Breathing is really important. And then you'll go into an abductor stretch. So this is kind of going to target your glute a little bit. You're going to then pull, like a knee hugger, your knee into your chest and reach forward, okay? So you'll feel that there on the side of your hip. And then finally, you'll finish with your piriformis stretch, kind of like that figure four, but seated now. So we'll prop up kind of like a business person stretch here. If you need to bring your foot down, it'll make it easier. Foot in closer will make it more intense of a stretch. We'll go through those on each side. All right, next up, we have some lying stretches. So these lying stretches can be done on the wall, okay? They don't have to be done lying on the floor if you cannot lie on the ground or it's really uncomfortable. The first one is a supinated twist. They also call this one the eagle. So you'll lay with your arms super long out in front of you, or out to the sides of you. You're going to twist. You're trying to bring your foot up to your hand while keeping your hands and shoulders nice flat on the ground, okay? You'll hold both, twist, then we'll switch and flip over. So that turns us into a supinated twist. This is also called, well, I switched these around. One is an eagle, one is a scorpion. Those are just different names for this stretch. But facing up, foot comes up, or knee, whichever one you want, does not really matter. But you're coming up and across your body, trying to keep your hands and your shoulders down. Okay? If your foot doesn't touch the ground across your body, like that's as far as you get, that's okay. Just try and relax it. Take nice deep breaths until you can eventually get a little bit further in each of those stretches. After that, then we have a two-way chest stretch. So, one is going to be with our hand off to the side, and we're essentially rolling over on top of our shoulder to stretch our arm back. And then the other is going to be up overhead. So these ones can be done on the wall. Like I said before, you put your hand here, you're just trying to stretch open, then put your hand up tall and trying to stretch open. From the ground, what that would look like, hand is off to the side, you're rolling on top of your arm. Go nice and easy into this. If you don't have a lot of shoulder range of motion or mobility, this is a good one to help build it, but you gotta be gentle. And then you'll reach up overhead, kind of like a 45. The higher up, the more intense of a stretch it'll be. Then you're going to just roll over top. You should feel a big, big pull through the front of your shoulders and chest there, okay? Then finally, we have shoulders, internal and external rotation. So this is laying on the ground. This is, again, another one that is really, really good to do, but you need to be very gentle. You can lay on your side with your arm up at like 90 degrees. You're going to just drop your hand back. If you can get it all the way to the floor, cool. Try and roll on top of it. That'll give you a good stretch there. The other direction is forward. So my range of motion stops about here, and then what I can do is gently kind of press down. Eventually, what is ideal is we can get all the way to the floor, both forwards and backwards, okay? Those are those rotations at the shoulders while lying down. Finally, we're going to finish with some stretches for our wrist. So we have the four-way stretch. This is simply just doing our hands facing this way. Fingers are towards you, palms are down. Then you'll switch. Fingers are still towards you, but now your palms are up. So again, those two this one here, so you can kind of just rock that, or you can do one wrist at a time so that this hand can kind of help hold some of that body weight up off of your wrist if they're very tight. The other two directions for this four-way is with your fingers facing each other here, and you're going to rock from side to side, and then you're going to reverse that with fingers away from each other and rock side to side. So those are the four-way wrist stretch. After that, you're going to a couple yoga-y type moves. We have our downward dog. Trying to push your heels into the ground, shift your hips up, backwards behind you, tuck in your ears. You'll hold that stretch. Then you'll go into a cobra pose, so it's almost the reverse. So your hands are staying put, you're dropping your hips and thighs towards the floor. If that is awful on your back, you can go down to your elbows and try and lift up this way. You should feel this through your belly and hip flexors, and then you'll finish with a child's pose where you're then reaching your hips back towards your heels and dropping your head and chest down towards the ground. So those are all of the different stretches for our flexibility section of this weekend's workout. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. We'll try and get to you as quickly as we can. Thanks, guys.